Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft, another Murders at Karlov Manor Premier Draft. And let's see what Pack 1 Pick 1 has in store for us today. Our rare is Audience with Tristani, 3 mana, 0/1. Make an 0/1 plant, then draw cards equal to the differently named creature tokens you control. I don't think this card is that great. Case of the Trampled Garden, 3 mana, gives you some counters, eventually gives you more attacking bonuses. Greenbelt Radical, I think, could be pretty good in like a green go wide, maybe like a green-red, big green-red deck. I don't really like a lot of the blue here. All the commons are pretty bad. This pack is pretty bad. I haven't seen this cast yet. I don't think it's very good. I've seen this cast that hasn't been particularly great, so I think I'm just going to take the Greenbelt Radical here and see if I can find myself into a bigger green-red deck here. Well, doesn't have to necessarily be green-red. Could be green-blue with Evidence Examiner. Could be green-white with Sumala Sentry. This goes very well with Greenbelt Radical here. 2 mana, 1/3 reach. Whenever a face-down permanent you control is turned face-up, put a 1/1 counter on it and a 1/1 counter on this. There's also Tunnel Tipster, which would go pretty well with that too. There is a Slice from the Shadows, a Cold Case Cracker, a Krovon Haunch. This pack is a lot better than the first pack that we had. But if I don't take Tunnel Tipster, I'm going to be branching into a second color, which means I should weight all these cards equally. And I think Sumala Sentry is actually probably the best of them. Also, green-white is an archetype I haven't had the chance to play yet. So I think I'd like to at least give it a try. And what can we follow that up with here? Culvert Ambusher. Maybe. We'll see. Pompous Gadabout. Maybe, probably not. They went this way. I mean, it's much more of a ramp kind of card, a ramp and fixing kind of card. I don't know if it's going to be good in what could be a little bit more of an assertive green-white deck here. We got a Combat Trick, which is fine. An unplayable Case, unfortunately. I haven't played with or against Culvert Ambusher. I don't know if this card is clunky or not. My instinct says it is a little clunky and probably isn't worth it, but I think I'm going to take it here over a bunch of stuff that I think I could get if I really wanted one. Like if I want an Auspicious Arrival, I feel like I could get one. So I guess we'll take Loxodon Eavesdropper here. This is a decent little 4-drop. 4 mana, 3/3 Investigate. And whenever you draw a second card each turn, it gets +1/+1 in Vigilance. It's also a Public Thoroughfare, but I don't think we need that now. Make your move. Probably not main deckable. Consign to Oblivion, I think, is a little slow. Clandestine Meddler is a pretty good one for black aggressive decks, of which I don't know if there are any in this format, but we'll take the Eavesdropper here and stay green. Case of the Crimson Pulse. I don't know why this is still here. I think this card is very good. What else do we have? Officious Interrogation. Investigate a bunch of times. Probably not worth it. Riftburst Hellion, probably good. Crowd Control Warden, also good. Slime Against Humanity, no, don't think so. So the question is, do I take Crowd Control Warden as just basically even a mono green card? Or do I take the Case of the Crimson Pulse, which I think is a very good card, and we're not locked into playing green-white or anything. We could still be green-red, and I think the Case could be a reason to do that. So let's take that here. Branch of the Vitu-Ghazi. Chalk Outline, no thank you. I tried you in one deck and never saw you in literally 9 games. They went this way is, I guess, the only card I would consider here. Well, I guess I could be Seasoned Consultant if I'm going to be green-white, but, you know, grab this, grab a couple of Novice Inspectors. I don't think I want a branch of the Vitu-Ghazi, so let's take the Seasoned Consultant here. Green is completely gone. Red is completely gone, but there is some white. We have Karlov Watchdog. which has been pretty good for me. There's Due Diligence, which has also been pretty decent for me. And there's also Dog Walker, which can be flipped for either red, red, or white, white, which is probably what we're going to be pairing with green here. I think I'll take the Dog Walker over the other dog. And go from here. We've got Auspicious Arrival, Fine Combat Trick. We've got Granite Witness, can be played for double white. We've also got Vengeful Creeper, which is just a 5-mana 5/5 with a little bit of artifact and enchantment removal attached to it. I think I'll take that over the Auspicious Arrival. I mentioned earlier that if I want an Auspicious Arrival, I can probably get one. And I don't think I'm going to want more than one. Okay, this is a pretty good and late Crovad Haunch. I do like that card. Guess I'll take Red Herring. Could take Gadget Technician if we go green-red. I guess I'll take Red Herring if we go green-red. Either one. Probably not playing either of them. I'll just take the 2-drop in case I just need more creatures here. So, seeing if we're going to be green-red or green-white here. And we opened 2 rares in this pack. The Unyielding Gatekeeper and the Krenko. And a Novice Inspector to a lesser extent, but I don't think that's in consideration against these 2 here. So, this is tough. Krenko's great. I've played with Krenko at least twice before, but I don't think we're maximizing him in this deck. We don't really have the artifact synergy to kind of sacrifice and pay 1 and make some goblins, but the Gatekeeper is great. 2-mana 3/2 has Disguise. Whenever it's turned face up, you exile target non-land permanent. If you control it, you blink it. And if you don't control it, they get a 2/2. Nice little good removal. I'm going to go ahead and take this here and probably say goodbye to red. We had the case, but red wasn't particularly open. And then we get a Shock and a Torch the Witness here. Is there a way we could splash these cards? I don't know if they're worth splashing. I mean, Case of the Crimson Pulse is probably worth splashing. Which means Torch the Witness would also be worth splashing. Would I rather that over a Bite Down on Crime or an Inside Source? I mean, these cards are good, and I would play these in my deck. I'd play an Inside Source for sure, but green-white usually will struggle a little bit with removal, and good removal at that. Bite Down on Crime I would not consider to be good removal. It's decent, but not good. So I'll take Torch the Witness and see if we can find a way to splash these 2 cards here. Well, speaking of splashing, Topiary Panther is a pretty good way to do that. Basic land cycling. It's also another Shock. There's a Concealed Weapon, a Market Watch Phantom. There's some good cards. But we're looking to be a potential late game green-white deck. Not necessarily super aggressive. The Panther is pretty good in the late game if you just cast it too. So I think I'll take the Panther over the Phantom, but that is close. Oof, we are rewarded with, oh my goodness. Couple of great cards. Another Unyielding Gatekeeper. We know how good that card is. There's a Phantom here, but there's also a Buried in the Garden. This fixes for red. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent you don't control till it leaves the battlefield. And whenever this land is tapped for mana, you get an additional mana of any color. Oh man, both of these are incredible. I think this is kind of an irreplaceable... Oh, that's irreplaceable as well. This is really tough. I don't know exactly what I would take there. Given more time, I might have switched over to the second Gatekeeper, but can't really be upset with either of those. Can't also be upset with an Escape Tunnel. That is a way to splash. Although Cryptic Coat, holy cow, that's another great card. So it's a 3-mana 3/2 that can't be blocked, and you can pay 2 to bring it back to your hand and then recast it over and over and over again, which is pretty good, but I don't think we want to splash a second color here. So I'll just take the Escape Tunnel. Don't think we're going to Pick Your Poison. There's no white cards in the pack. I could play Airtight Alibi. And I guess I could play Sample Collector, but I'm not thrilled with either of these, to be honest. Don't think I'm going to splash either of these cards. What is Mistway Spy? 1 mana, 1/1 flying disguise when it turns face up. Till end of turn, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, investigate. Pretty good. I'll just cut the green card here. Okay. On the job versus pick your poison. I guess I'll take on the job. I don't know how wide we're going to be going necessarily, but it's nice to have access to that if you want it. Rubble Belt Maverick. Maybe. Only card to consider here, so I'll take it, followed by another one. Krull Whip Cracker. Seems pretty good, but I think I will restrict myself to 3 colors in this draft, depending on what we open in the last pack. Concealed Weapon. Maybe. That is something we could just play as a 3 mana 2/2, and if we have our red sources, we can flip it up. If not, it could just stay a 3 mana 2/2. Treacherous Greed. Is this splash worthy? Additional cost to cast it. Sack a creature that dealt damage this turn. Draw 3, drain 3. That is good. I just don't think it's worth splashing necessarily. So now we've got a tough one between double Inside Source and Nervous Gardener, which I think is perfect to kind of like fix our splash here. We've got Torch, we've got Case, we've got Weapon, we've got Dogwalker, and Nervous Gardener is basically exactly what these green decks pretty much want. I would love a copy of Inside Source if we can get it, but I would also love a copy of Makeshift Binding, so I will take that here. 3 mana, exile target creature till it leaves the battlefield, gain 2 life. Conspiracy Unraveler is cute for some sort of constructed formats, but not us. Concealed Weapon number 2, they went this way. Don't really need that fixing now that we have a Nervous Gardener as well. So I'll take the Binding here pretty clearly. So many Concealed Weapons. I do like Museum Nightwatch. Hedge Maze doesn't really fix the color we want. There is another Dogwalker. What's our curve looking like? It's okay. These are kind of all 3s here. So it's not great. But either one that I take here would both be basically a 3. Yeah, I like Nightwatch. If I didn't have the Dogwalker already, I probably would have taken the first Dogwalker over the first Nightwatch, but I do like having a copy of that. 5 mana 4/3 flyer. ETBs suspect nonsense, and when it dies, you gain 3 life. Long Goodbye. Don't think I need to splash that. Due Diligence. Maybe. Hellion. Maybe. I guess I'll take a Due Diligence. We have so many big, expensive disguised creatures already. I don't know if I need another dorky one and the Hellion there. I don't think Case of the Locked House is great, but I'm probably just going to take it because I'm not playing anything else here. How many concealed weapons have been opened at this table? At least 5 that I've seen. Coerce to Kill is great too. Put that into here for now. Ooh. 5 mana 6/6 flyer pro hexproof multi. When it deals combat damage, deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards. You gain X life, or X is the number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. Not really for us. So, guess I'll take the tracker here. Maybe I'll play it, maybe I won't. Can't really play anything here. I mean, I could play either of these as disguised creatures. I just don't think I want to. I can't splash double red. I don't need a second on the job. Guess I'll take the Scoundrel. Another Seasoned Consultant could be okay. Maverick number 3 I don't think I need, so let's take this. Oh, look at that. Inside Source Wheel. There were 2 in this pack and 1 did come back. shipping along murder. Take they went this way. Vengeful Creeper, probably not going to play 2 of those, but we'll see. And one more pick and a couple of cuts to make, but not too many. The deck is kind of somewhere between a little bit aggressive and a little bit controlling, so we'll see how I choose to build this here, and I'll see you after deck build. Okay, so here is where I ended up after deck building. Cut a couple of the expensive disguise creatures because we still do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 disguise creatures. 8 if you include concealed weapon here. So we have plenty of that going on. We've got double Maverick early, double Consultant, Somala Sentry, which is going to be pretty good with all of our disguise. Panther to help splash. I did keep Case of the Locked Hothouse in here. I don't think this card is very good, but something I like to do for you all early on in the format like this is to play some of these kind of niche rares that you may not know if they're good, and then you get to see via me and not yourself if they're good or not. So I do like winning, and you know, I also understand that a lot of you are watching for content so you can understand for yourself if these cards are good, and this is going to be a case where we're going to literally, pun intended, see if this case is any good in this deck or not. If it's not, then you'll know. And if it is, then, well, you will also know. Splashing Case of the Crimson Pulse, Torch, and flipped Concealed Weapon, Dogwalker could be flipped for 2 white. So this is how we are going to run the deck here. And I'll see you in game number 1. Okay, starting on the draw here. The hand isn't great. We've got Inside Source on 3. Buried Garden on 4. We can cycle this thing for a basic land on 2 as well to ensure we hit the 4th land drop. Due Diligence can buff up some of these creatures, so I think it's still a keep. And I will sacrifice for green, I guess? Now that we have our mountain. Crawl Whipcracker. That is a 3/2. With Reach. Probably still going to play Inside Source next turn and plan to trade the 2/2 for the Whipcracker here. Could play this disguised, but I don't think I want to do that. Buried in the Garden on 4. Now that we hit our land drop to 4, I don't think I'm going to cycle the Panther anymore, because this ramps us to 6 if we draw a land in the next 3 turns. So that'll let us just cast the Panther there. Sure, hit us for 3 and play a disguise creature. Okay. Go ahead and play the Inside Source and plan to trade it off, I think. Or plan to trade the 2/2 off. And the next turn, I can get rid of something here. Or I could just play a 4/4. Yeah, I don't really need to get rid of any of these things too badly right now. This does ramp us, but this also stabilizes. Okay. Let's just... Yeah, let's just play a 4/4 here. And, maybe once they flip this thing over, I can bury it in the garden, depending on what it is. Yeah, I'm sure they'll attack with that, so that looks to be one of the bigger disguise creatures. So I can't really block it. I guess they're deciding if they want to flip it up for like 6 mana and hit us with a Rift Burst Hellion. Bubble Smuggler. You have a 6/5. Alright, I guess I can do this then. And then, I mean, if I attack here and they kill the 2/2, they can hit me for 3, but that means they would have to kill a 2/2 and leave us with a 4/4, which I'm sure they don't want to do, so let's just do this, and then another Whipcracker kills our 2/2. Well, that's a better way to do it, I guess. They kind of just did it for free, so good for them. So we'll take 3 here, and then see what our mana situation will allow us to do. Okay, so we have 6 mana here. I could play Due Diligence, but they do have priority, so I don't really want to do that into open mana, so I can just play a Topiary Panther. I can play a Disguised Dogwalker and a Disguised Museum Nightwatch. Both of those trade off with this thing. I think that's fine. Let's do this. And then hold the Radical back now that I know they potentially have removal in hand. Eavesdropper, okay. And no attacks. Alright, we successfully avoided attacks here. So let's do white, adding a double white, and then green. I guess I could just play an Eavesdropper as well. I was thinking about flipping one of these up to get this counter synergy going, but I think I'm actually just gonna be mana efficient and play a 4-drop here. And yeah, no attacks. Happy to trade off Radical for Eavesdropper if they are to crack their clue on their turn. Okay, they won't. Really looking for an opening to cast this Due Diligence here. But as long as they've got priority, don't really want to do it. Five cards in hand too, don't like that. Okay, that's a 6/5, and they don't have priority, so now could be the time to cast the Due Diligence. And we're going to have to go into full control to do this correctly, unfortunately, so let's go into control. Now, what do I want to permanently buff here? I'll buff this, submit one. Pay this, pay here, and pay here to leave me with the white mana left so I can undisguise this thing. Target the Night Watch. And then flip the Night Watch. And that let me use all the mana how I wanted to there. Now I think I'll hold this one back. They might trade. Hit him for 11. Probably have to at least trade something here. So the reason I went into full control is because had I cast Due Diligence using the white mana, it would have created another white mana, and my suspicion is it would have likely used that other white mana and a green to cast that, and then I wouldn't have had a white mana to undisguise this. So that's the reason I did it the way I did there. Totally fine taking this 3 for 1, if they'll let me have that. This kind of tells me they might have a board wipe here if they're blocking like this. There's a board wipe in blue-red, and there's a board wipe in black. So they could have any of those. There's also one with double white, but they don't have that right now. Looking in their graveyard, probably looking to collect evidence of some sort. Don't know for what spell. Could be the sorcery Isaac creature with the highest power I control, which would be the Radical. Okay, that's fine. This thing gets Vigilance and +1/+1. Still can trade with the Radical. Will do. And what's the follow-up? Still looking in the yard. Yeah, so it might be... the Isaac creature with the highest power, but I mean... oh, Macabre Reconstruction. Killing these tokens here. Okay. So if I don't sack my clue right now, they're going to eat my clue. They're going to kill this 2/2 no matter what. So I don't have to do this, but God, I have 7 cards in hand after they draw here, so I think I need to crack this to avoid losing the extra card in hand. And then... I really do want to flip this up, but... I want to hit land drop, so let's go... let's do Nervous Gardener here. And then attack with everything, turn this face up, hit my land drop, get a counter on both of these. Okay, both at 8. We got a lot of creatures, but they're about to kill one of our creatures and play one. Well, play more than one, that's for sure. Culvert Ambusher could force them to block. They have tons of lands, that's for sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lands. Still looking in their graveyard. Play that, kill the 2/2. We knew that was coming. Play that, don't kill anything, and still 5 mana left. What is left here? Disguise creature and priority still. Okay. Well, we can cast Panther and undisguise the Dog Walker here, so let's do that. They're certainly thinking long and hard about their decisions. Still trades off, so all 4 of these trade, but we get 2 1/1s and hit them for 4 here, unless they have some sort of removal. They might have +3/+3 to save one of their creatures. Nope, okay. Take 4, and I'll play a 6/5 Trampler. So, while our opponent is thinking here, if you enjoyed today's draft and enjoy the content here and enjoy the drafts and the five days a week of premier drafts and more content on the weekends, go ahead and subscribe here to the channel if you're not already. It's a free way to support the content, as well as curate your feed so you don't miss an upload here on the channel as well. I do also have a Patreon if you really do appreciate and want to give back to the channel in the form of a tip. You also get rewards back, including access to very expansive and exhaustive tier lists. We've got early access to all my content. You can binge it as soon as it's up for at a certain tier level as well, and also lifetime access to the Daily Drafters community and the Discord server as well, which is a great place to be for like-minded, limited individuals too. And throughout all of that, our opponent has still not made a decision. And somehow still have a timeout banked here. So, yeah. They must have a way to kill... Yeah, I was about to say, they probably have a way to kill us here somehow, like... That's the card I thought it might have been, was pull. So let's see if we can survive. I think we can survive. Like, we just block the Panther and... potentially kill him on the backswing. Ah, they drew green. Now I'm worried about +3/+3 and trample is the issue. Oh, they have bite down on crime. Oh, that kills us. Okay, well, they were trying to find lethal somehow, and I think they found it. That is a sorcery, though, so they chose not to use it, interestingly. But I still think they have +3/+3 and trample, which would kill us. So. Yeah, they were trying to find it. It looks like they did. So we take 1 + 6, 7, 8. That's exactly 8. Or I have no idea what they had, because... thought we were dead, and not exactly sure. Okay, here we are starting on the draw with... a hand that's not great. We need white, obviously. Even if we draw just a single green, we can cast both of these as disguised creatures. If we draw white in the first 2 turns, we can play a 1/3. Yeah, I think risking this is better than mulliganing in this format. I haven't found the format to be super aggressive, so keeping hands like this is... it's slow, don't get me wrong, but I mean... it usually doesn't kill you. Now, 2 forests, on the other hand, that might kill you. I don't know if you saw. Either yesterday or the day before's video, we had, I think, 12 lands in our top 17 cards, including every single mountain in our entire deck. So that was fun. Can't block this thing, unfortunately. So that's not great. Was hoping to at least be able to trade with one of these, but now they're going to keep hitting us for 4 a turn, and we'll keep missing land drops. So this doesn't do a darn thing, so... guess we're just morphing again and hitting for 3. Or hitting for 2, because we can't block it. Really need white. I mean, we've had how many draws at this point for it? At least 4 draws. Well, you know the case of the locked hothouse is bad when you choose to exile it to an unscrupulous agent, apparently. Alright, we found the white. I think we have to get rid of the gadabout here. So let's enchant this land. That was the worst way that could have happened. Why would it do that? Usually it defaults to enchanting the one land. I was going to play a Seasoned Consultant as well for free off of the one land it didn't enchant. Or that enchanted that wasn't tapped, but usually it doesn't do that, so whatever. What are these again? 5/5 and a Radical. Okay. Alright, well, let's see what they got. Looks like it did hurt us a little bit. We could have gotten an additional 3 points of damage in there because we would have been able to attack with 3 creatures, but I knew I should have tapped manually there, so. Unfortunately, they chose the wrong one because now we do still get a 2/2 out of the deal here. Probably would have been better for them to kill either of these two. Soul Innervation killing one of the morphs, maybe? Okay, killing our Greenbelt Radical, sure. Is that lethal? I think it is. So let's do Diligence here. Giving +2/+2 and Vigi here. That is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, that should do it. And then the binding kills the agent. And there we go. Alright, nice little win there. Even through the auto-tapper incident. Okay, opponent goes first again. We've got a Gardener, Ambusher, Creeper, could all be disguised. We are mana screwed once again. If we miss our third land drop, at least we can play a Gardener. I don't plan to play it on 2 because flipping this up is very, very valuable. But now we can at least, like, block this thing without it hitting us. They do get a free loot, or a free rummage, I guess, but we can still block it. Well, never mind. See if they hit their third land drop now. Nope, they still missed it. Okay. Does that change my... change what I want to do here? I could makeshift binding this thing to, like, really put them back here, but... if they're playing red-black, they're probably pretty aggressive. They probably have at least something else they can play. I'd rather get Gardener down. And sure, I hit my 4th land drop next turn. I can flip this up, get a land, play it, and then maybe I can binding it next turn if I really want to. Or I can disguise another one of these creatures here. Double Shady Informant. No blocks, take 2. Reckless Detective is a lot better than I gave it credit for, so... Unscrupulous Agent. I think I'll get rid of the Creeper here. So do I get red or do I get white? I think I'm gonna get red. And then play... a disguised Night Watch. Pass the turn. They still missed a land drop last turn. They could have combat tricks. Double blocking might not be the best thing to do here. Yeah, here they come again. Do I risk it? I mean, the good news is if they play the combat trick, they're not going to advance their board this turn. And we still have creatures we can play here, so... let's see if that is what they do. We've got removal for something that could come later. Okay. I would like to hit land drop, so I think I'll play Maverick to Surveil 2 here. Let's do this, and then play Ambusher. And see if we can continue to take advantage of a mana-screwed opponent. Which, again, happens to everybody. We have flooded many a times in this format. But we're not punishing them for getting screwed here, so... I'm going to make this have to block. That way I just basically kill it for free. And then they can't continue to rummage here to try to find that third land, which they did find. Down goes Ambusher. That's okay. Again, not advancing their board. That's something I'm fine with. Gotta attack first. See if they trade with Maverick. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, I'll play Consultant. We could attack with 3 creatures next turn, so that could trigger. Was debating playing this or flipping up the Dog Walker. Went with the Consultant there. I think either. It's close to what's quote-unquote correct. I'm expecting them to play some sort of... I mean, they could just play this as Disguise and then have a 2/2, so... of which all of these can attack into. Okay, they'll kill our Dog Walker. No, that's not how I want to tap. And then I can put the counter... Let's put it here. Just let this attack into potentially more things. Now we got double removal spell in hand and card draw. Fester Leech, that's okay. And Disguise, sure. Alright, yeah, they were just screwed for a little bit too long there, which is fine by me. Alright, we are up first this time with a hand that has a lot of Disguise in it. So, I guess we'll keep it here. The question is, do we play Dog Walker on 2? I don't know. Haven't decided. Let's see what our opponent does. White, pass. Because we have so many Disguise creatures coming up, I will play the wrong land and not play the Dog Walker as I intended to do. That's the answer. Okay, I guess we'll play the Karlov Haunch then. Slip of the finger. Whoops. They would have just traded for their Automaton anyway, which probably wouldn't have been great, so. Let's do this, and... yeah, next turn we can flip Dog Walker and equip Karlov Haunch here. I mean, they're still just going to block with Automaton, but I mean, that's a way to use our mana. Could also just play the 4/4. I don't really see myself disguising this. No thanks. And no play. Okay, so what if I equip here? Do you do anything about it? No. Okay. Then let's do this. Alright, hit you for 5. Got 2 1/1s. Another land, but still white. Although it looks not white. I guess at this point I could see myself flipping the Radical here. let's start by moving this over here and seeing if they want to trade with a dog. Okay, that's fine. And then play the radical and maybe we remove something, play a concealed weapon, eventually flip this and give our whole team trample. They are either mono white or color screwed. Ooh, due diligence. Okay, that's good. I guess that means I'm going to bury in the garden this thing now that it's a 4/4. Alright, let's do this right this time. Not that it really matters. Can't use the mana. I guess I could use the mana to like cycle and stuff, and maybe I will. But kick them when they're down, right? Keep attacking. Sure. And I think I'm actually going to land cycle here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can undisguise this next turn and then have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of trample. So that would have done it. All right, another mana screwed opponent. Magic. I feel as if we've been on the draw a lot, but that's okay. We've got a Rubble Belt Maverick on 1 to surveil into more lands. We've got Panther to cycle if we still can't find lands, and a bunch of disguised creatures. Yeah, I don't think we really need either of those things, to be honest. We have so much action and so much mana-hungry cards in our hand already that I feel like that's just more important here. Consultant and a miss land drop? Yep. See what happens when you miss lands. You just keep losing. So that's why I'm going to ensure that I don't do that. So let's do this and play Night Watch, because next turn we can attack with this, and if they choose to block, we can eat that. They do have at least 2 colors of mana here, so Torch the Witness, killing a 1/1. Probably not the way you wanted to draw it up there. How do we do this? I guess we go like this here and then disguise one of these creatures. That way I don't have to flip this up and I can get another creature on the board. Which one? Yeah, I'll get the Dog Walker down. That still trades with the Consultant. Okay, found a land. See if they can catch up here. Disguised creature, sure. Crovad Haunch. Start by getting in. Okay, that's fine with me. And then also yeah, just go to damage and disguise a weapon, I suppose. Hitting land drops. Catching back up. They're not too low. They're at 10. Museum Night Watch at sorcery speed. Killing a dog walker. Yeah, sure. That's fine. I still need this land probably, so let's go. I could play this and equip, but then I couldn't play Eavesdropper, and I probably want to undisguise both of these things, I would think. Let's see how they block here. So I could undisguise this and, like, put it on the dog. I'm definitely doing this. Yeah, that's the Night Watch. And it still trades, but... And then the question is... What, this gives a +3/+0 to something? I could still play Karlov Haunch, or I could just let it bounce and then play Eavesdropper. I think that's also okay. I'll just let it bounce here. Both get a 2/2. Then play Eavesdropper, and if I draw a land next turn, I can play Haunch, land, Case, draw 2, and then be pretty good with that. Now I can't quite do everything. So let's start by doing this, I suppose. Gives us good attacks here, maybe? Okay, there's a land. Let's just get in with everything. So we have lethal if we go for it, but they have a ton of mana here. So obviously they have some sort of interaction. So I'm just going to put it here and trade with their consultant with the dog. They might use removal spell on the dog now. Yeah, I figured they had removal somewhere, so we'll just let this trade. Still be left with a couple of creatures, a Karlov Haunch, some more card draw coming. It wasn't the greatest of transactions for us, but they were going to kill our Loxodon basically no matter what we did. Bolrac Clan Basher as a double striker. Well, unfortunately, neither of these let us get through that, so I do not like that. Put this on the doggy, I guess, and no attacks because we can't kick it through a double striker. We can flip this up next turn to destroy the Due Diligence now that this is a 5/4 double striker trample. Oh crap. Are we dead? Do they have a way to pump this to 10 power? I don't think they have a way to pump it to 10 power. That would be crazy. Okay, that's okay here. So I could just get rid of the Clan Basher then. Right? So I cast the case and then play Makeshift Binding on the Clan Basher, and that's probably game. I might want to save this for lethal. If I attacked with all three, they probably trade here, take 5, go to 2. We draw 2 more cards next turn. We have a bunch of extra... Yeah, I think this is okay, even if they block this thing. Would I rather keep this around and use Escape Tunnel to make this unblockable? That way they're forced to block this one, and I can keep my 5/5 around for next turn. Or would I rather than they're gonna trade with the morph here? I would have to imagine. I don't think it really matters. I'll just let them do it, because they go to 2, and we've got all sorts of stuff here. So I think I'm actually gonna keep Escape Tunnel, and then that makes both of these lethal threats next turn. So yeah. Alright, managed to get through that one as well, and the case that on the splash that was passed to us, like pick 3 or 4, ended up being pretty darn good there. Alright, we're first again, and look at this hand. Looks pretty good to me. Haunch on 1. I don't know which of these 2 on 2. Probably Consulted. I don't think we're flipping anything up anytime soon. So let's do this, and if we miss a land drop, we got another creature at the very least. And if we miss a 3rd time, then we can equip this. So now we cast Inside Source, and then next turn, if we draw a land, we can equip this here and play Sumala Sentry and attack with all 3, depending on what they play as blockers, but... well, that ruins everything. Yeah, pretty much just have to do this, I guess, then. Good old 2/4 flyer. They probably won't be investigating off of it too much, but 3-mana 2/4 flyer is usually just good. So, Museum, Night Watch, yep. Oh, and it has Vigilance. Why does it have Vigilance? That's stupid. I can just exile it and give him a 2/2? Yeah, I like the Makeshift Binding, but I also like hitting land drops, so I'm gonna keep the land on top, and then... go ahead and flip this up. Exile that, give him a 2/2, and then we can do something like this, which is decent on attacks. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to get 2 for 1 to buy a Night Watch. It's just a built-in 2 for 1, so sure. Ooh, I do not like seeing that card. Is that on a splash? Gleaming Geardrake on the splash, sure. So next turn we're going to miss a land drop, so could just play a 4/4. Could play this and get a clue, but the clue doesn't do much for us. I think I'll just get a bigger body out here. And next turn, probably remove the Geardrake, because that is usually the biggest problem on the board. We don't have a lot of reach in this deck. I mean, this is reach, but this is going to get out of range much too quickly. See, it's already out of range. It's a 1/1, but they could crack both of these with their mana and make it a 3/3, so this already can't block it. So we're probably going to have to makeshift binding that. This is also now solved, so they have a 4/4 flyer. That might actually have to be the bigger problem, because they're probably just going to enchant one of these and start bashing us for 5 in the air. So I could play Sumala Sentry and equip it with Crowbot Haunch. It can block this, or I could just play Eavesdropper here. They have 5 mana, so I can't even attack into this disguised creature as well. Alright, sure. Yeah, Case of the Filched Falcon is... it's a good card. Let's see if they use it. Doorkeeper Thrall. Lots of flyers. We struggle against flyers, that's for sure. So I'm going to have to makeshift binding their 4/4 next turn. It's still a clue, though, so they're going to sacrifice it in response, which kind of sucks, but I mean, we have to get rid of it because it's a 4/4 flyer. It's going to turn this into a 3/3 flyer that we also have to get rid of. So, lots of things that aren't great. Oh, now a 6 powered flyer, so we're like dead next turn, basically. Does this have vigilance? No. Okay, so take a lot here. Okay, go to 8. Alright, Case of the Locked Hothouse. Once again, you're pretty darn bad. Okay, so how do we win here? What if we just play Makeshift Binding on the 4/4? Next turn we take 5 damage, potentially up to 6 damage if they choose to sacrifice this thing. And then we're dead in next turn anyway. What if we draw a card and play Makeshift Binding? We have to draw a card, draw exactly a land. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I think we're kind of toast anyway. Guess I can try to start getting in a little bit. Yeah, I might, between these games, now that I've drawn this twice, go inside it out. Each time I've drawn it, I don't want it in my hand. So I think that answers the question. Is it good? No, not really. So we go to 5, and we're dead on board now. Okay. So... I guess we play Sentry and equip it, and... It's about all we can do. We might still be dead. We have missed a lot of land drops here, which is never great, obviously. Pass the turn, and we'll see. We have to take at least 2 currently on board. Ah. That'll kill us. Okay. Well, couldn't quite get that one. I'm going to go ahead and side out the case of the locked hothouse here, as it is a hothouse indeed. Okay, going first here, and we've got 3 lands, Escape Tunnel, Plains, and a Topiary Panther, so we'll keep this one. Escape Tunnel for green. And we'll see if we draw a 2-drop. Probably not. Don't have too many of them. And I guess we'll go get red here. No reason not to. And now the question becomes, which card do we disguise? I think it's going to be the Night Watch, because if we draw Plains, we can undisguise this and still play a Gatekeeper, although the power of the Gatekeeper is to play it disguised. Yeah, that's also not too bad, so let's do this. They don't want to trade. So we'll go to damage and then play this disguised. If they wanted to trade, I would have undisguised that, got a 2/2 and played the Maverick. The Maverick also would have let us scry into more lands here, but they chose to not block. And I wanted to get this thing down in case they get some crazy bomb down that I have to deal with. A Bubble Smuggler. You have a 2/1. See if you want to trade now. Okay. And then let's try to scry into, or surveil into another land or 2 here. Yeah, don't really need either of those. Would rather just have lands, so. Pyrotechnic Performer, that's a good one. That could deal a good amount of damage to us here. Yeah, there's another one. That's probably a Nervous Gardener if I had to guess. Is it worth getting rid of this thing? I don't know. Probably not yet. But if they play any more disguised creatures, I might have to. Oh, that's also fine with me too. That's less fine. This is not very mana efficient to do this here, but I think I'm just going to play this. I haven't done that yet with Concealed Weapon, but we've got 2 more disguised creatures, a 3-drop and a 4-drop. So it's kind of like a 3-drop, a 3-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, a 6-drop, and a 7-drop in our hand. Like, we need to just get things on the battlefield here. Okay, where are my lands? So I could equip the weapon to the Maverick, attack all, play Creeper post-combat, or Consultant post-combat. Yeah, let's do that, I guess. This is 2 mana for +3/+0. That's a lot of damage. Okay, so which one is this that they're leaving back? I thought I killed that. Oh, they have 2. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Sure. So this is... It doesn't say which one it was, but I need to make sure this is the one that I keep an eye on, because that's the one they didn't want to block with. 2 pyrotechnic performers, huh? Okay. So we are through 17 cards in our library and have found 4 of our lands here. I guess 5 if you count the escape tunnel in the graveyard. Kellen, that's a problem. Alright, well, I guess we can continue to get the beats on here. Trade this with Kellen, maybe? I doubt they will. Now what do we do? Let's get another body down. I'll do this one here. Get this in a 2/2. Trying to think of how we win the game here. It's got to be through attack. Well, I was going to say it's got to be through attacking, but so does basically every game. But we have to outrace things like a flying vigilance 3-powered creature, which is going to be difficult. Oh. I forgot it can do that. So yeah, that's probably game. And now they can flip this thing up at instant speed, which is not going to be good for us. So let's do Radical and Creeper here, and then maybe we can flip up Radical and cheese out a Trampled Wind at some point. Oh, they have the counter thing and put counters on things. Yeah, repulsive mutation. Alright, well, that means we lose, unfortunately. Yeah, big 7/8 flyer. Can't really beat that, so... Do we... I guess Makeshift Binding would let us win is about the only thing we can do here. That won't do it. Okay. Losing to Mythics. I guess that's a rare. Losing to rares. Yeah. Okay, on the draw again. We'll keep. We can at least guarantee a 3rd land. Probably going to cycle this on 2. Go find... Yeah, probably go find red. Gatekeeper's power is in disguising it, so we won't play it here. And now I think I'll play Inside Source on 3. It trades off with this thing. They could be color screwed here with 3 mountains, or they're mono red. Okay, missed land drop. I'd like to see that. Alright, let's get in here. And let's actually do this one. This could actually really mess them up next turn. Because we could just flip this thing up, attack with a 4-5, and then like force something to block it. I'm thinking they might have shock here. If they had shock, they probably would have shocked one of our things last turn. So might not be shock. Could be galvanize. And they just don't want to use it on a 2-2. What could they have? Whatever they have, it's probably going to 2-for-1 them here. So... oh, that's still got ward. Forgot about that. That was not the greatest sequencing of events. Oops. Still bashing in, though. And... yeah, I probably would have rather just play a disguised gatekeeper and a consultant there. Probably would have been better. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. Only triggers once each turn. Played that out of order. Gorehound first would have given them a surveil. Let's do this. They do still have priority. See if they triple block the ambusher here. Oh, they're just chumping a 2-2? Felonious Rage. So that trades with my 2-2 and gives them a 2-2. So what I could do is flip this up and give them a 2-2, but I keep my 2-2. Is that better for me? I mean, it's better, but is it worth flipping it up for that? Oh, it doesn't actually give them the 2-2. Okay, then yeah, that's clearly better. No, it does. I'm stupid. It does because of this ability. But it doesn't get it from the Felonious Rage there. So we'll just make sure they don't kill ours, which still attacks well into this board here. I can actually dump basically my whole hand. I don't know what this thing could be, but they're at 8, and I'm probably okay if it eats something. Am I okay with that, though? They just passed with 4 cards in hand and nothing. Yeah, no attacks. So let's do Consultant. Let's do Consultant. And now next turn we can be attacking with a ton of things here. Okay, it was a 4-2. It would have traded and then ping down a 2/2, probably trade it here and ping down that. Wouldn't have been the worst set of attacks. Ooh, that's a mythic. What do you do? Face down creatures you control have something. They have none of those. Whenever an assassin deals combat damage, cloak the top card of my library. None of these are assassins, right? No. I mean, itself is an assassin, but they might die before that matters. Okay, I guess we're just going to bash on in here, and math is for blockers at this point. They can block 4 creatures, which means they'll be leaving 3 creatures unblocked, which will be a 2, a 3, and a 3, which is 8. So unless they have removal, this is lethal. So let's see if they've got removal. Okay, go to damage. There's the removal. Okay. Sure. Go to 3. Most things trade off here. This will trade, and then they investigate. And I'll equip this here so we can attack into their 1/4 next turn. Oh, this has Death Touch. I never noticed that. Okay. Alright, tap that. Cloak my card. And then they can flip that up. Cryptic Coat. That's another good one. Man, they are doing some good things here. Gotta torch the witness on something. And it's probably gotta be a Trotta. So this would deal 4 damage, this would deal 5. No, this would deal 6. And this would deal 7. I'd like to deal at least 6. And then I can play this disguised, and next turn undisguise this. I'll also have 0 cards in hand, undisguise this, and potentially trample over for the win. So let's do X equals 4 here, which will deal 8 damage to a Trotta. That seems like the problem card on the board. Do they have some way to protect it here? Digging for a counterspell answer. Okay, got rid of it. Play the disguised creature. And I think just pass the turn here. Solve this, draw 2 on our upkeep. Makes sense. 5 mana, make a 2/2 every single turn. With upside, because it can flip itself, because it's cloaked and not disguised. Vengeful Tracker. We're at a high enough life total that probably doesn't matter. Here comes the cloak. Problem is, so if we go for this, what do we have? We've got 5, another 5, and then 4. So we've got 14 points of trample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's enough for lethal. So if they don't have removal, we win. But we have to discard our hand next turn. That's fine. I guess. We're still drawing 2 cards. So yeah, let's go for it then. All right. What are the final blocks? Okay. Makes sense. Do they have removal? Nope. All right. Greenbelt Radical actually did its thing. I believe that was our pack 1 pick 1, and it's done its thing. All right, 6 wins. Win or lose, we're in the trophy battle here at 6-2. Final match, we go first, and look at this curve. Maverick, Sentry, Gatekeeper, Due Diligence. Let's go. Flip this up, put a counter on it, put a counter on this. All right, now this Surveil could be a little bit difficult for us. Let's see what we need. I will keep this. I don't think we need Vengeful Creeper. We've got so many disguised creatures, and that's probably one of the worst ones that we have, but I'll take the land. Green-white Sentry. Gatekeeper next turn, and then go from there. Due Diligence could be pretty good as well. Suiting up our Maverick, making it a 3/3 and into an actually relevant creature here. Hopefully they just play like some random disguise creature, which would be fine with me. There we go. Okay. So now we do this and this. And don't trade with our 2/2 here. Although now we, you know, kind of need something off of our deck. We're out of cards, basically. Lazav. 2/3 with attack bonuses. And they do still have priority. I don't really like that. But I can potentially blow out a double block here. So let's do this. Turn this face up. Exile Lazov here. Put a counter on these two things that will eat their morphed creature. Unless they have Fanatical Strength, but I mean, if they've got Fanatical Strength, that's what they've got. Okay, just getting another 2/2. Sure, play this and bottom any lands here. Ooh, hello. Case of the Crimson Pulse. Yes, please. We can do that next turn. Another disguised creature. Bunch of 2/2s. And removal for the Gatekeeper. Yeah, that happens. We know we're drawing at least a Crovat Haunch here, so... Ooh, Buried in the Garden could be good. Now, where do we equip this? If we equip it to Sentry, we guarantee a 2-for-1 here. And we're not going to be undisguising too much. I'm fine trading this off for one of these things at this point. But because that means they can't double block the Sentry as well. So they have to choose if they want to trade a 2/2 for a 3/3. Or if they want to double block the 2/2. Yeah, they'll do that here, so. Get rid of this. Now we also have a counter in the yard. They do have a lot of cards in hand, so we'll see what they can do with that. I don't particularly like that. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, enchant this. And I do think I'm paying for ward on this because I don't know what they've got here. And it might be trying to flip up something huge. So I will pay the ward. Now let's see what it is. Or if they want to undisguise it first for some reason, if it gives them a benefit to do so. It does, a small benefit. But a benefit nonetheless. And I think I'm going to open up attacks for both of my creatures here instead of getting a counter. They still have priority. Interesting. At this point, I'm sure they trade. They could also have the bounce spell, I guess, maybe? Oh no, is it Artifact Enchantment Removal? Assassin's Trophy. Okay. I really wanted to keep that, but sure. Got a couple of chump blockers now. Depending on what they do, I'm probably sacrificing the Crovad Haunch and making 2 dogs, putting a counter on one of them. That's my plan, especially if I draw land. And I don't really have anything else I'm doing. Trying to find their way out of this one here, thinking through all their options. Attacking with 2 dogs. Sure. Okay, get rid of Sentry, I guess. Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm playing a makeshift binding on the dog here. That doesn't seem great for me. I'll do it on any better creature than a 1/1. They're trying to fight their way back here. I mean, I'll even binding whatever that is. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we can do both. Well, no. Because we'd have to pay for the ward. So let's attack with the 2/2 and see if they trade with the 2 1/1s. Then we could just play Topiary Panther. Yeah, that's what I thought they would do. Okay. Play the Panther. Can't pay ward for this thing, so I won't cast Binding. But that means no answers, and we can remove that next turn, hit him for 6. Is it just me, or have games in this format gone, like, really long? They take forever. I don't know why. I mean, our opponents haven't been very fast today, but, like, all these drafts are like over an hour and a half long, and usually they're somewhere around an hour 15 minutes. Granted, I am doing very well in playing a lot of games in these drafts. Like, this is the 9th game in the draft because we're 6-2 right now. but like, they just go forever. Oh, that's cute. Very cute. They still have priority with the black and a white. What could that be? Okay, take two. Play an eavesdropper. They're holding on for dear life over there. Okay, another disguise. Another land. Concealed weapon? That's actually quite good. That means we have two lethal creatures here, so even if they remove one of them somehow, they have to somehow have removal for both. Okay. Do you have the answer to the dog now? Nope. All right. Trophy number 3 in the format. I've got quite the win rate so far this format. 7 win trophies in 3 drafts, a 6 win draft, a 5 win draft, and a 4 win draft. Nothing underneath 4. It's been great so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the format. I'm having a ton of success. I hope you're learning something from the things that I'm doing too. That's why I do this as well. Drop me a comment if you did learn something and you appreciate the content. Again, you can subscribe and check out Patreon if you do as well. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you tomorrow for more daily draft content.